Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm just gonna explain a engineering copilot, what it does and why it required. Let's say you got assigned to build a new feature or a new task, and you're gonna gather requirements, right? And you're gonna go to the chat GPT or Claude and paste the text, something like I need to build this, and as it will get hallucinate in the middle and it will suggest very plain implementation. Okay, but um, when it goes to the development, you really know you need to implement rate limiting and authentication, what else is blocking and all. So here in this case, so AI engineering copilot, we have special 8 agents that discuss, debate and interact in live, and before getting final approval from the chief architect, that all discussion happened in a live, and we're gonna see in a graph and what design it changed and why it changed their thought process. Also it will explain it clearly here. So we're gonna try with, let's say, build a real-time fraud detection platform for a bank, or like you can see now how many times agents are going back and forth. Also we can check it here. So requirement analysis, it given in like both functional and non-functional requirements, user stories, and you can see like, so it started here like gathering the requirements, then the solution architect designed some requirements. You can see if you go to the solution architect, it suggested this, okay, for based on this. So agents are discussing, right? So we need to wait for 10 to 15 seconds, then we'll see. Like you can see the how agents are hand over the task to the next agent. You can see, right? First requirements going to the load, like solution architect, then the database architect, API designer, and the security engineer, and the cost optimizer again went to the like solution architect. Okay, and they discussed again with the critic. So critic is basically it gonna communicate with all other agents again before handing over to the uh, chief architect. At the end, chief architect approves. Then it suggested like what it changed, and so yeah, what it changed and why it changed the decision and all. We can come from the beginning. Let's say you can see it gather the functional and non-functional requirements, and user stories and open questions as well. And you can see the solution architect, it proposed a microservices architecture. Okay, and it suggested the components and the trade-offs, scalability plan, and database architect. Yeah, it responding to the solution architect. Yeah, so solution architect said that it is a plan we have to implement, and database architect come in the picture, and he said that it reviewed, it agreed, and it pushed back. I disagree with the suggestions. Then discussion went from the database architect to API designer. Like his proposal, he is saying like this API designer is saying this one. Then it given the payload structure and all. Then you can see the conclusion what it suggested align well with the functional non-functional requirements. However, we must ensure the asynchronous processing includes mechanism for the maintaining data consistency and handling failures. Now security engineer is like he's saying top vulnerabilities, asynchronous processing risk, insufficient authentication mechanisms, and yeah, and you can see the real Azure cost uh, calculation for maintaining the infra. You can see proposed architecture cost, AKS nodes, okay, and DB nodes, blob storage. So what are the each what are the cost we have to spend for the each resource, total monthly cost, and it suggested in conclusion, but incurs high cost primarily due to the cost more DB and AKS nodes. Cheaper alternatives might be essential functionalities. And you can see this critic report. So it suggested it is inconsistent between the agents asynchronous processing, edit, login, great unchallenged assumptions, risky recommendation. It challenged these six agents. You can see this critic, it challenged six agents, requirement analyst and solution architect. It called requirement analysis twice and solution architect once and database architect. However, how will you ensure the integrity of the audit logs, especially in the light of security engineer recommendation? Like it challenged them, that six agents, okay? And again, like it received the feedback from the critic, right? Requirement analysis. You can see that twice how it's responding. Okay, therefore I propose with the engaged stakeholder clarify specific transaction types. And you can see card not present, fraud, account takeover, money laundering, phishing scam. And it challenged each agent. This critic agent challenged the each agent. So database architect, cost optimization. Can you provide a detailed risk assessment of the proposed cost, particularly regarding performance and redundancy? This critic, how it challenged, you can see, right? API designer, what specific authentication mechanism will be implemented to secure API endpoints? So this is critic is like questioning the each agent again. So you can see here solution architect respond to this challenge and each agent again responded, okay? And finally cost agent also responded, AB design also responded. Okay, it said that okay, OAuth 2.0 I'll implement OAuth 2 and JWT API gateway. Okay, then finally the chief architect, like it's finally agreeing the plan of all the agents, like so decision architecture pattern like Microsoft Arc rejected by the alternative. So reason allow for better scalability, immutable log, you can see the audit log integrity and authentication choice. So these are like best choice we are going to implement. And what was the previous one, like why it choosing this best choice? Because of the previous reject reason. And you can see the reason as well. And the delivery plan, it gives the delivery plan as well. And you can see the table transaction ingestion service, fraud detection. And you can see the team scorecard, the database, the debate validate the design, the original survey all 6 team confidence 74%. You can download this blueprint and you can utilize that. You can see here the live graph, how the agents interactions happen. This is the critic, and critic how many times it interacted with that. And so basically, so if you say one plan, what it's gonna do, it's gonna interact, the plan will carry over to the each specialized agent, and debate will happen across all the agents again, and finally it moves to the chief architect. Okay, that's the main implementation of this AI engineering copilot. And we can take this and we're going to give it to the cloud, cursor, or whatever the agent we are going to use. Thank you.